Get ready to bleat with excitement because Goat Moves is climbing to the top of the e-commerce mountain with innovation like never before.
Next Pitch TV showcases the most innovative equity crowdfunding campaigns for the verdict of the crowd.
Today, we have the pleasure of introducing Rachel Renee, the visionary founder behind Goat Moves. Rachel's passion and innovative spirit are driving the next big leap in how we shop online.
And a very good morning, Renee, and welcome to Next Pitch TV, where we showcase the most innovative equity crowdfunding campaigns for the verdict of the crowd. And I must say, I was really amazed when I saw the video for your campaign on Net Capital. Why don't you please go ahead and share your story with us, how this amazing business came to be?
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for taking the time today to meet with me. I started off in government contracting in July of 2020. We were doing drug testing and DNA testing in the Kansas City area. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, where the Chiefs and the Royals are. So I was doing that, and it was in that space that I had realized that it was very hard for service providers to get found by businesses that needed their services, especially if they weren't traditional services like marketing or, consulting or something like that. So, and at that time, I was the only 24-hour drug testing provider. I'm a night owl. So long story short, I started testing it with my site. My original Goat Move site was just I was branding myself to be the ultimate third-party administrator. So I had cleaning services, DNA. I was like a one-stop shop. But then I was like, well, I can't do every service in the world. And then what about other people that have services, but that also sell products? Because I also had drug testing kits as well, that especially parents would like, for their teenagers or something. So I was looking, I said, there's really not a platform that encompasses everything, that really is more so built on the pain points of the entrepreneur today, because we do a myriad of things. We sell products, we have consultations, we have ebooks and courses. So if you want to sell everything but still have that marketplace exposure, you're going to have to pick. So on Amazon, you can sell products and books. On Fiverr, you can sell services, but not products. Angie's List, you can list contractor services, but not anything else. Every platform you have to choose. So with Goat Moves Inc., we have centralized the services, meaning you can sell your products, your services, and your digital downloads on one centralized platform. It's easy for the seller. It also makes it easy for the customer to shop everything that you are, everything that you have. So whether you're a solopreneur and you do a lot of things, or if you're a business that facilitates services and products as well, but also produces digital content, you have a central landing page. So in addition to that, we have a streaming feature. My father, who is also my co-host on Holding Court Podcast, he is my media partner. So we will be having a streaming feature, which I'm very excited about, because it will also offer an opportunity for some of our businesses to be able to be featured in production and movies and commercials and different things like that. So we did all that. We do have some users. We in November of last year, we were closed with Net Capital, which is a firm out here in Los Angeles. It is a Reg CF crowdfunding range. So we wanted to go this way. So not only could we obviously maintain, ownership and control of our platform, but then that way we can make it available to the public before it gets to the Dow or US 30 and it's $50 a share. It allows the company to get in, rather early. And, I call myself the people's CEO. It's the people's platform. It's built for the people. So I'm excited. That's where we are right now. We are officially in our race on Net Capital. So that's where you saw the video. And yeah.
No, I love it. Now, it's interesting in that it appears your background is not particularly in technology that I'm aware of.
No.
So in other words, you're facing the challenge of a startup in any case, but in an area that is not necessarily one that you are familiar with, at least not in terms of managing prior to this. That's amazing. So if I understand it correctly, you've literally already created the platform largely. That in its own right had to have been a major challenge. Now, how did you come up with the name Goat Moves?
I love this question. So before I went back to Kansas City, so although I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, me and my family, my parents moved to Los Angeles, California in 2003. So I'm a halfie. So in 2019, I went back to Kansas City, unbeknownst to me that I would get stuck there because of COVID a few months later. But before I came back to Kansas City, I was out here and my uncle, and I have a very small family. So I literally have, like, I grew up with two uncles, a couple of cousins, my parents, very small family. So my uncle, basically, he was going through a tough time, depression, different things like that. And he needed a care package, like, of just different things. And so he called me one day and I knew it was something because he usually doesn't, you can just tell, when something is wrong with someone. And so I knew it took a lot for him as my uncle to come to his niece and basically say, like, hey, I need help. I'm going through it. So I said, okay, uncle, I said, give me like a week and I'm gonna just send you some stuff. So I sent him, like, it was everything from a phone to, body stuff and different things. And so I get a text because at the time I was working at a printing company. And so I sent the box through the printing company. So I didn't have the tracking. The company had it. So I said, hey, just let me know when you get it. So I get a text and he said, hey, niece, he said, oh, my God, thank you so much. He said, girl, I don't know how you do what you do, but you be pulling goat moves. And I was like, goat moves? I was like, what is that? I was like, what is that? I'd never heard that term before. And I was like, goat moves. And it stuck with me. And I thought it was so cute. So like a month, I said, of course, uncle, I said, I got you. I love you. If you need anything, just hit me. So a month later, when I got back to Kansas City, the day that I got there, we spoke. We were both looking for cars. We were going to meet up at my grandmother's house, his mother. And then literally a few hours later, after we got off the phone, he passed away. So I was like, yeah. And then 7 months later, my grandfather, which is his father, he was his firstborn. He passed away. He just couldn't, take it. So it was a lot that hit my family back to back. So it was, and then I don't know if my uncle meant to do this, but like, I'm also a Capricorn. So like, I'm also the goat of the zodiac. And then my grandfather, who was from Nigeria, who also immigrated, he was also an old Capricorn. So I was like, oh, that's so cute. So it literally just fit in so many different cute ways. And then, my grandfather, him coming to the States was, why we are also here. So, and, dealing with all of those dynamics. So that's where it came from.
Fascinating. And so how has it actually worked out for you so far? You mentioned you already have some customers, if I understand that correctly.
Yes.
Go ahead and give us an example, if you would, of one or two of your customers.
Oh, yeah. So as of right now, we have a little over 6,000 users on the shopper side waitlisted, and we have about 500 plus, well, actually 900 plus sellers now waitlisted on the seller side. So, and it's been cool because we got to guinea pig with, we've had a lot of estheticians join. So like we have one esthetician lady and, we're still building the page. We're in beta until we're probably in about Series A, but she's able to sell her products, her skincare creams and, her white label products, but she can also list her services, but she can also list her skincare 101 ebooks. And then we've also set it up to where people can set their own coupons and their own promos in their store, in the marketplace. So we don't, have any control over that. And then also we've incorporated, which the sellers really liked with coming on, where people always ask, oh, how are you different from Amazon too? We also have a rewards infrastructure that we're integrating onto the platform. So yeah, so even in the marketplace, because Amazon is great, but I've shopped there for about 10 years. I think I got a $20 credit maybe one time. I've never gotten anything, any points, any credit. So it gives people, the opportunity to, be able to utilize the platform in different ways on where they can use the rewards for services, products, or digital downloads. It's up to them.
It's funny, actually, because I was literally thinking about, wouldn't it be cool if you actually had a kind of a local rewards program effectively? And that you've already actually gone in that direction just is amazing. Because that makes so much sense. In your video, you point out the whole point of this is to help revive or support local businesses.
Exactly.
And in effect, give them the infrastructure or access to the infrastructure that they otherwise don't have. Instead, they have to cobble stuff together, which does not make life any easier, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So, and tell me, what are your plans for the future here? How do you see the future?
So in the immediate future, I plan on, me and my team at this point, we planned on, so we're working towards our first threshold of $10,000. At $10,000, we will be able to get put in the newsletter for Net Capital. We will be sent out to all of the investors. We can complete our first rolling close and start marketing campaigns and things like that. So that's our first threshold. At 25K, they do some other things for us, like more promo. But that is the initial promo. As far as the company, I want to continue. We're garnering some more partnerships, so I'm excited about that. We've landed the advertising deal with Chris Stump from Console TV, so that was huge, not only for us for our campaigns, but also for the streaming feature, being able to have, that ad revenue pretty much in place for us. That's great. We have the partnership with Unilogics, which will also give the mom and pops that turnkey logistics and warehouse management, because, I'm a small business now. Like it's a lot. It's insanity. Like the more things that can be centralized and streamlined to make the everyday admin task and just transacting easier. That's what I'm passionate about, because like you said, the average mom and pop, even if they're younger or, a lot of them are of the older generation, like even me as a 90s baby, like I'm still trying to navigate Facebook. I don't understand Snapchat. So if I feel like this at 31, 32, I can only imagine how 40, 50 and up feel with trying to navigate this landscape. So my goal and our mission is to continue to usher in the mom and pop, the small to medium businesses into a commerce type of, infrastructure that benefits them. Put them in front of the public. We have a different type of marketing. I call it carousel marketing. So instead of the same 8 or 9 businesses getting the same front page on, like at Amazon, like different businesses are getting a turn in the limelight. So, they exist. So, so I call it carousel marketing. I don't know if I need to trademark that or something, but that's my philosophy. So everybody wins.
Well,
It
goes around.
Thank you. Right. It should go around and, give everybody a turn. So that's the goal, and continue to raise money. We're pitching. We do have some big pitches coming up, in front of some reputable people. So I'm excited about that, continue to build the streaming feature with my father and usher them in, because, like I tell people, we can see the correlation between small to medium businesses and the middle class in our economy. And we see too what happens when a few corporations are pretty much controlling the masses. They set the wage, they raise the prices. There's nothing you can do about it. They're all friends. They're not going to increase their bottom line. They're kicking it together. So, it's time for a disruptor, to come in and really make it competitive again, and give them a tool that is practical, and centralized for the uses and how to be able to compete with, not even just compete with technology, but integrate it with your business. So that way you see that you can win. So that's the goal. That's the plan. We're just rallying. We're rallying right now.
Now, why did you decide to go the equity crowdfunding path or road, I suppose, as opposed to conventional finance and what have you?
Yes. So one was I wanted to there was a few reasons. So number one, I wanted a company and I wanted to go with a firm that I wanted to IPO. My goal long-term is to take my company all the way to the stock market. I want to own it from conception all the way to when it's fully blossomed. So that was important. And then two, with the equity crowdfunding, as owners and as founders, we still are able to retain a lot of the control and still own our platform while also still giving the public access to wealth, because traditionally, unless you were making 100,000, 150,000 a year and had been consistently, you're not considered an accredited investor. And that threshold, really eliminates a lot of people, the majority of people. And I would say your average person, from being able to have access to opportunities like this to be able to invest in a company. Because like I said, by the time it gets to a US 30 or a Dow or a NASDAQ, it's $50, $70 a share. So there's not too much the average person can do with that. But if now something is $9 a share, you feel like you have a dog in the fight. You've grown with this company. You're using it. You love it as well. then I wanted it to, my whole philosophy is making wealth accessible, and then I wanted to show people, I wanted to show young people, Black people, women, whoever, whatever, people with afros, whoever, like I wanted to show people that it was possible to get into a space, navigate a space. I have no idea. I didn't even know I was a tech founder till somebody else told me, that I was a tech founder. I said, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to just show people, no matter what your limitation is that it's possible. You don't have to have all the pieces together. You just have to have a clear vision, be very, I say 10 toes down about your purpose and be willing to go through this series of steps. And so now even documenting my journey on YouTube and social media and people being able to see the growth and see, my wins, see my L's, like that's what I wanted to show as well. And I feel like with the equity crowdfunding, you can show that process. Everything is transparent. We're SEC regulated. It's not like, just a regular GoFundMe or any platform. Like, no, we're being audited by the highest, financial regulating institutions. And, I like that it just keeps everything above board. So there's a lot of reasons, but in summation, that was why.
No, I mean, you make a very good point. Since otherwise investment in startups was limited to accredited investors, which, by the way, means you have to have assets of at least $1 million and an income
Yes.
of 200,000. So it excludes an awful lot of people. But this is actually one of the reasons why I find equity crowdfunding so exciting. How much does a typical investor invest? Well, we're not talking about his or her life savings. We're talking about, $100, $500,
Yeah.
maybe $1,000. That is a way different animal than what is normally the case. And that's one of the very compelling features of equity crowdfunding. So definitely, I'm very glad that you chose this direction. And I hope it's going to work out for you because what you're doing is fantastic. And so I really appreciate it. I'm afraid we're out of time. So I want to thank you very much for coming on. And we'll go ahead and get this interview published as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Join Rachel Renee and Goat Moves as they take the leap toward revolutionizing e-commerce. Don't miss your chance to be part of the next big move. To know more about the featured campaign, subscribe now to nextpitch.tv.